I'm Eric Harrison. I'm the author of the book Jambanja, which is part of my true life, my story. I come to the part in the book where it derives its name, Jambanja. Jambanja is something that strikes terror into the hearts of so many Zimbabwean farmers. And it actually is the slang, the Shona slang for terror, fear and chaos. I can remember the first night I was Jambanja. There were 6 of us in the house. I had some friends came to stay with me, and we were listening, we were chatting away, and we heard outside where the shed was, we could hear the movement and the noise that the war veterans were making as they were settling down for the night. All of a sudden, things went quiet, very quiet. And we looked at each other and wondered what was happening. Then our little dog, little Jack Russell, got up, cocked its ear, went to the door and listened. And then we heard it. We heard the sound of singing. And many, many voices rose up in song. And it was moving from, the sound was moving from the pack shed where I was packing oranges, through the workshops and round to the front gate, almost like a stereophonic orchestra, or a stereophonic sound. And it came round to the front gate, and we heard them tearing down the front gate. And they ripped the gate to pieces. They just pulled it apart, and they started coming through. And they were singing. And as they were singing, and they were marching in time, and they were singing to their forefathers, not to worry if we should die. Don't cry when we die in this war. And those were the words of the song. They then came to the back of the yard, and by this time we could hear there were many, many voices. And they were marching. And as they were marching, they were singing. And all of a sudden, a whistle blast went out, and they came to a thundering halt. And there was just dead silence. By this time, all the lights had gone out. There was no power. Someone had turned off the main switch. And there we were, in the dark, with silence surrounding us. Then another command was given, and the loudest noise you could ever imagine from human voices rang out, and they started running around the house. We didn't know how many there were, whether it was 100 or whatever. And they started banging on the roof, on the windows, on the doors. They didn't smash any windows, but they were trained at creating fear. In the house, my son, Russell, who's the youngest in the family, called us all together and gave us the order to hold hands. And he stood around in a circle and he recited Psalm 91. And I'd just like to read what that psalm said. Father God, you are my refuge and fortress, our God in whom we trust. He will cover you with his wings. You will be safe in his care. His faithfulness will protect and defend you, but you will not be harmed. From that moment, a calmness settled over us, and all 6 of us went about our business as best as we could. In that darkness, we knew no fear. We were safe. And although around that house, this terrible sound and this noise, as these intruders tried to scare us, well, they did, in actual fact, but we were safe. Shortly after that, a whistle went, they stopped, regrouped, and went away. That was a series of about 8 Jambanjas that I went through. And I've been through much in my life. I've been in the last, during the Liberation War, I was involved in many actions, but nothing was as frightening as that. And many people, farmers in Zimbabwe have been through Jambanja. Many have died, and many have suffered from heart attacks after that, and I can see why. Unless you've been through it, you'll never understand what a Jambanja means.